First of all, gentlemen, do either of you anticipate needing to abstain from voting? Have you spoken with anyone regarding the variance requests before us tonight?
No. Nope.
And have either of you been out to see the properties before us tonight?
No.
Nor have I. All right, consideration of the agenda. Do we need to approve it?
Motion to approve the agenda?
All right,
Seconded.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Approval of the minutes from the last meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Second.
All right. Can you make us vote, Jesse?
No, voice only.
Very good. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Done. Okay, we'll get right down to business. We've done the agenda, we've done the minutes. We'll get to Mr. Shower at Juniper Drive. Is he here? Would you care to come forward, sir, and make the case that you have to get the variance?
Well, I have a healthy drive Parkinson's after the last 10 years. The reason I'm widening the driveway all so when I get out of my truck, I'm not tripping on the lawn or snowbank.
Sit if you like.
Yeah, you can
First
sit.
name, it's up to you. Whatever's easiest.
My truck is not in the garage. We downsized last December back into town, but it's a full-size truck. So I don't fit in the garage with the car. More for safety reasons.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of room there. I can see why you'd want to do that. This is not an instance of any problem with the setback?
Not the side yard, no. This is simply an issue beyond the garage door.
Yeah. And parking in the,
Technically in the front setback.
okay, but then, the particular issue then, as far as the city's ordinance is concerned, is basically the width of the driveway.
Well, they're allowed to widen 2 feet beyond the garage door opening either way. They're going to be further than 2 feet in this case.
Shy of 6 feet.
Okay, and your principal concern is ease of getting out, making sure you don't trip in the grass.
Yeah,
and-
balance, that's it.
and you've got- you probably want to move the snow sufficiently away so you
Very
can
good.
get. Questions, Tommy or Greg?
What kind of truck are we talking about?
Full-size GMC 2-foot.
It's a big truck.
Yeah, it's a big truck. When I lived in the country, I had like a 30 by 32 garage. I had a lot of room. I don't have that here.
Questions, Greg? Okay, sir, if you could have a seat, we'll deliberate. Thank you. I'm okay with this.
Yeah, I'm good. It's a pretty small driveway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for this instance.
Yes.
With Parkinson's and stuff.
Right, I think he's presented a good case for why he deserves variance, so a motion would be in order.
I'll make a motion to approve the requested variance.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion made by Mr. Babcock, seconded by Mr. Orman to approve the variance requested for the property at 1724 Juniper Drive. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? You're good.
Can't go on.
That was
You
great.
can stay if you want for the whole show.
It's a really long night for me sitting here.
Just make sure to stop in for permits. in our
Alright.
office.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome, sir. Next up is Mr. Bolt. 506 16th. All right.
So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to enclose this side of the house where the porch is, and then, so then that way it's enclosed into the garage, so then my kids can just go into the garage versus being outside on the side of the porch, and then I can create dog doors, so the dog can let themselves in and out.
So basically, you've got a separate garage from the house.
Yep, three-step garage.
You want to build something in the back, kind of a corridor to connect the two.
It's gonna be an enclosed, a new deck with an enclosed, with walls built to tie into the existing garage. We'll be adding the fire fire resistant drywall, fire doors,
Okay.
everything that's involved with that. Inside the interior of the garage, we'll place some backing in there that will allow us to tie it in properly by code, so that it's, structurally sound.
Okay.
There's a breezeway there that particular part, we are going to use what's called a mono truss. I have a render edition that I made of it. I gave the other part of the plans to inspector.
Okay.
But as you'll see, this is what we'll be using, it's a pre-manufactured truss, mono style 412. And that shows right here where it's sit on the walls.
That's like the
This is like the
street
side,
view.
that's from the street. So these are the walls that will be tied in underneath the deck here. Obviously, the 4 foot of the ground, inlaid posts with probably 6 or 8 inch lag bolts, countersunk.
Seems like a good plan, however, we ran afoul of an ordinance.
Yes.
Rear
Yes,
setback,
variance.
Paul?
Side setback.
And then that's why I had the neighbor next to me sign the thing on the bottom saying that he was okay with it, that it wouldn't be a disturbance with him. I had him sign that also.
I was trying to figure out what that, so that was his signature
Yeah, that's
there?
his signature,
Okay.
saying that he's fine with it, he's okay with it, it's not gonna be affecting him. And that he's okay with it going through. If he asked me if he needed to come, but he's like, I don't think I need to come because I already signed. I was like, I don't think so either, but.
So what is it, what should it be?
6 feet for single story, 8 feet for story and a half.
And what are you proposing
As far as what?
with the setback? The setback from
Well,
the,
from the existing wall, the deck would be approximately 4 feet
from the lot line?
from the house over.
Okay, how close
And that would
would it?
be, that would leave about, I think it's about 3 or 4 feet off from there, from the lot line.
Okay, so basically, you should be 6. To do this properly, you believe you need 3 or 4.
Yeah.
That's the variance you're asking.
Do we know exact?
No, we don't, but it's in the approximate,
Because we went off the telephone pole because the neighbor next to me said that the lot line was a telephone pole and the electrical box in the back, because the metal piece in the ground for the marker, we couldn't find.
Well, the
We
thing
could
is,
metal detect it.
yeah, we tried to find it with a metal detector, but it's so close to all the other metal around there that you can't, you're not even, it's hard to find.
Yeah.
There's just a metal electrical
Because we had 'em,
thing right there,
marked
that
out.
back, in that rear back area there.
So did
Corner.
you guys turn this in? Is this yours?
Yes,
Yeah.
So
this is-
walk me through when I was looking at this ahead of time, I was trying to figure out, so you're pulling, it currently is 6 feet, 5 to 6 from the lot line, and you're pulling 4, which only then leaves a foot or 2?
we were coming off the pre-existing house there, right there.
4 feet.
Yeah, 4 feet over.
Okay.
And that left like 3 feet over.
So there'd be
So
like
it'd be
2
almost-
feet, like 2, 3 feet, yeah.
In any event, you're infringing on the setback of your neighbor, so your neighbor's okay with this?
Yeah, I talked to him. It's actually my uncle.
Oh, that
But,
helps.
so, I mean, he's fine with it. He said it'd help with the kids.
Yeah, so they don't go run over there.
Yeah. Yeah. Or throw stuff into his yard.
It seems like you'd be happy with this.
So he was fine with it, and I was like, okay.
Now, the way you show it here, if I'm understanding this correctly, is you're kind of lined up with the existing garage.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
So,
I mean, it's probably a foot over that we would need, from the tie-in from the house to the tie-in to the corner of the garage.
But that lines up with also the fence in the back of the yard.
okay, but I guess my point is that the garage is already impinging. Is that the way you understand it too?
It could be, but it's a detached garage, it's a smaller lot. Technically, the setback's 2.5 feet for something like that. I don't know what the dimension currently is,
This is
so.
interesting, Paul. So it, as a detached garage, as it exists right now, 2.5 feet is the setback?
That's the current code, but it may still be non-conforming.
Okay, But
Because it's detached.
once it's a house and all one structure, it's 6.
Then it goes to 6.
Okay, I got it. Further questions? Tommy? Great.
Well, I want to get an understanding. In your questionnaire, you indicate there isn't a hardship to comply with the ordinance. What
Oh,
is?
that's-
Hold on. What's the hardship for you? Like, can you explain to us what the hardship if you had to comply?
I would say, you know, with the children being so young and the weather being bad in the winters and stuff we had, it would be easier for them to just immediately get into the car from the garage with it enclosed.
But to enclose it, you need to infringe in order to make it.
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, I mean, we could probably leave it where it is. I believe that deck is 36 inches. It might be a little small.
Then I mean, with walls, it's kind of narrow.
Yeah,
Okay.
bring it in another 3.5 inches.
It'd be too narrow for this.
It'd be it'd be a little bit too narrow.
Okay.
I mean, we could move it over like from where the corner of the garage is, approximately 12 inches, and it would tie right into the corner. Otherwise, we have to, if we do it where it's at, then it'll shorten the interior of the hallway.
I'm looking for a little bit more, 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet, you know, what are we approving, you know, against the
I
side
think
of?
he said 4. Isn't that what
Well,
he's
they're saying 2 to 3, but they're saying 5 to 6 from the lot line here, and then you're taking 4 away, which leaves a foot or 2. But then you're saying 3 or 4 feet.
Well, I'm saying it'd be a foot or 2 left. So altogether it would be 3 or 4 feet, because there's 6 in total.
So if it was a foot or 2, it's still less than 2.5, which would be the garage, right? If the
Correct.
garage was to code, correct? So it's even further than that, correct? If it was a foot or 2?
The way I understand the applicants, if you lined up the back of the garage
Yep.
with what they're proposing to do, they need about another foot past the back of the garage.
No, we would be, it's like this. Here's the existing deck, and here's the corner, the back corner of that garage.
Okay.
To move it over would be about a foot.
So
Tie right into the corner, right.
So you need
Otherwise,
a foot.
if we leave it right where it's at, then it's gonna be opposite of the corner. I would request to put it on, exactly on the corner for the tie-in because of the 6x6 beam that's there. I think it would be structurally sound better that way than opposed to trying to put backing in.
There's a deck there already?
Yes,
Yeah.
pre-existing deck there.
God, I missed that whole part. I don't see that.
Yeah, there's already a deck there.
Well, to me, the interesting issue is that the garage only needs 2.5 feet. Suddenly, because the enclosure is being done to tie the house and the garage together, it falls into a different part of the ordinance, needing 6. So right now, the garage is fine, the house is fine, but the combination of the two runs you into this problem. Am I
Okay.
understanding that right? That's the issue, Paul?
So if we leave it as it is, then everything, and just tie in and put the backing in, will that allow?
No, you've got a catch-22. Once you tie the two buildings together, you require 6 feet setback, which automatically makes your garage non-conforming and, okay, well, we got a divide by zero kind of thing here, so I at least understand this, I don't, you guys have any further questions?
My only thing with, are we deliberating?
Sure, we can. Why don't you guys have a chair?
Okay.
Thanks.
My only comment would be to suggest we just condition it that it lines up with the existing garage, so it's uniform, it's not giant. What I think they're proposing. But it makes sense. I mean, why are we gonna push them farther in than what's in the existing structure? It's not, apparently not in non-compliance with the existing ordinances, so I would just say we make it existing garage.
Did you understand what Mr. Babcock's
Yes, sir.
qualification is, that your new, basically your new deck and breezeway line up with the back of the garage?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't feel that a hardship has been presented, you know. weather is difficult, you know what I mean? So,
That's why I wanted to ask, you know, and my thought is that if there is a hardship based on how he explained it, and how the size of it, if they were to come back in and beams and so forth, it not lining up, I think that would be a hardship for them.
you know, my concern is just if, again, thinking long-term, here's one single case, you're attaching a detached garage, you know, and now, is everybody gonna create breezeways? And then that ordinance then becomes pretty much useless, you know what I mean?
No, that's not true.
What do you mean?
From my standpoint, I'm just looking at it in this particular case.
Yeah, yeah.
And it makes sense, and it doesn't seem, you know, to be something that I would get wild about, you know. That's kind of how I'm looking at it.
My thought, and I'm kind of starting trending to be a little bit more stickler
Sure.
with things, is that if it's a specific hardship where this needs, it's not convenience. You know, some people, oh, I have a bigger truck. I have a boat, I need to put my boat in there. Those aren't hardships per se, right? This is
Correct.
just,
That's
seems
why
more of a
we're-
convenience.
That's why we have 3+ people on the board.
Yep. So that's why I'm just letting you guys know and getting here my arguments as to why I'm gonna vote no.
Okay. I think a motion would be in order, Greg.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the variance requested.
Okay, in our instance of having 3 on the panel, I will second that motion. So we have a motion made by Mr. Babcock, seconded by me to approve the variance requested, with the qualification that the new construction line up with the back of the garage.
Correct.
Correct? Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
2 to 1. You're good.
Sounds good, thank you guys.
Mr. Burkett? Okay, sir. What's your case? You got an old house and you
I've
want
got an old house and I'd like to put a porch in front. I checked with it's registered with the Historical Society, and I checked with the GB, with the archives, and there was a porch on the house back in 1884. And it was dismembered in 1936.
Yes, you have the fire insurance from way back when, I assume, and that.
Yeah, this is the plot and the porch existed at that time.
Yeah. So the dotted line you're arguing is evidence that there was a
Well,
covered porch there?
Right, we want to put a covered porch in. My son kind of photoshopped a typical, the type of porch we want.
Oh, cool.
It's going to be that, but it's got to look like it's been there since the 1800s or whatever. We'd like to get an 8-foot width porch due to my health and my age and whatever, that I can maneuver on there. If it would happen, I could do it if I'm in a chair or whatever. And that's 19 feet from the porch to the sidewalk. I give you 27 feet to the house, of course, but
If you somehow, have you guys established an official front facade setback, and how far is he in advance of that?
I don't have a real detailed site plan, it's part of the problem, but basically it's an average in the block.
Right.
So
It says here
it's
20.
safe to say it's encroaching within that setback, front setback. There's
Yeah.
also a provision in the zoning code that allows for designated historic structures and structures in historic districts to replace their front porch, no questions asked, as long as they can demonstrate that they have evidence. This is outside of the historic district, and it's not a historic property per se. So just to let you know that it's a unique circumstance.
So normally it wouldn't be an issue.
If it was a historic structure or it wasn't a district, it was historic, we could do it staff level. In this case, it's just like any other property in town.
Okay, so the applicant is contending that this is a historic structure.
Sure, based on its age, it is historic. It's not recognized as
I did check with Madison also, and it's registered in Madison, it's written in front of me.
Okay, well, in any event, are the houses, the rest of the houses on that street? We go back to the Sanborn map, are they still there?
Well, yes they are.
So the argument.
The one right next door is, and there's a few houses down the line that aren't, that weren't at that time.
I guess my point is that historic or not, one could argue, perhaps I'm the only one making that
Yep.
argument, that in 1884, it was okay, right?
Right.
Okay. I don't want to put words in your mouth. but- Okay, I think I understand the situation. Tommy or Greg, you have any questions?
Just making sure I can ask you when he's not here, but, I mean, it's basically that idea that there's an average setback against everything else, and this would then take them beyond whatever that average is.
Right, there's an imaginary line that runs.
Yep.
down
There's
from
also
For continuity
the house
purposes,
existing
correct.
Structure as it is today. If you- And I've got the-
The applicant wrote on here
Well, that
22
just
feet,
shows
is that
the
just the
drawing.
guessing, or, because you said you have an official?
Right
Right,
there.
that's all
Now,
the information that we have.
It's the reason the 8-foot porch too is because of the windows are extremely long. The roof is gonna be up, if you pitch them down, anything less than 8 would give you,
It doesn't look like it. very
Good point,
big
you gotta go out
porch.
far enough, so if you're gonna have a
Right.
pitched roof, you stay away.
Right.
All right, I understand.
Let's see. It doesn't look like it is that much. But it is.
Yeah, I'm okay. Okay. If you could have I guess we vote right within here.
Motion to approve.
We're in violent agreement, this happened a lot.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion made by Mr. Everman, seconded by Mr. Babcock to grant the variance for Mr. Perkins' property on Grignon. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 3-0. You're good. Thank you. Next up, Mr. Sherman on Emily. I'll put a garage in.
I can give you some site plans here. Show you what we're looking to do, the existing structure and where we'd like to place a garage. There's the existing structure, there's the alley, the garage in the corner. I also have copies of the plans. For the garage, we'd like to come as close as we possibly can to match the house. And as you can see, as far as the design goes, here's the front of the home. We're trying to match some of the design, or at least all of the design elements of the house as far as, the bump outs, the grid pattern on the second floor. We go with the same stucco and color scheme that the house is currently. So that's kind of the idea. Obviously, we are in need of a variance for permeable space and setbacks. All of the lots in that neighborhood are very, very tight over the years. The alley has been whittled away. This back section was then taken away. There's a garage back here behind us, the neighbor's house, and this is a driveway that they have adjoining. They share a driveway with the next property over. So they have a garage that sets back from here.
You have no garage.
We have no garage.
You just have probably an apron, a concrete apron to park on?
Yeah, I can show you what we have right now. So we have, this concrete apron, which is pretty busted up, which is in need of replacement. This is the original, I would call it carriage house from the home with a bedroom. It was a library at one time. It was built above it. The previous owner had a permit to finish off this garage area. They built a bathroom, bumped out a bathroom into there. They drywalled it, heated it. So it's a finished space. The drywall itself hasn't been taped off. We plan on finishing that, using it as a laundry area, but there's no space in there that you could park. I doubt you could park a Mini Cooper in there, honestly. You know, the last thing that was ever parked in there was maybe an actual garage, you know, at the time. So it's got the original doors on it, and again, we'd like to keep those doors, you know, and that's part of the aesthetic of the house. I don't want to change anything, and we'd like to match those doors on the garage for that. I don't know if you saw the application, when it comes to hardship. I have an adult autistic son that is transitioning. We'd like to have a loft apartment above that for him so that he has his own space. He doesn't drive, he goes to school, but and he works. But you know, it may be a long period of time before he has his own, lives on his own. But instead of him living inside the house, plus we have 4 more kids besides that. So for us, the hardship is a space for him to have independence and to transition to an independent lifestyle at some point would be the goal. But until then, we'd like to have a studio space above that and a place to park our cars. As you can see right now, I mean, we're parked, we've got a fence line right here. So that's kind of the end of where we can park. Backing out of there, we generally.
Fenced here.
Yeah.
Currently on this.
The fence is currently about, yeah, right here.
So on this picture, it would go beyond back here.
Correct. Yeah, the fence will
Okay.
come down and the garage will be backed up behind that.
Got it.
Yeah, currently, I mean, just where we're parked right now, it doesn't give us a lot of space if we're backing out. It's difficult to turn back into the alley. We tend to back into our neighbor's driveways to get out of our own space. You know, and it's a tight alley. That, I think, was put in 81, which also, again, took away from the space. I know at one point there was a wraparound driveway that went through easement behind the house. So I don't think they had the problems at that time, back when it was the Kelly house. But at this time, it would just, you know, for us, for parking, it's really non-existent, at least for covered parking. And again, we have a plan in our plans to attach it. I had spoken to the city about attaching with a covered walkway to make it actually part of the house, and so everything's plumbed back to the original structure. So all the water and sewer and electrical will go back to the existing structure.
So in this case here, this is just a covered walkway, or is it actually like the last guy we were talking to, like where
No,
it's
it's
drywall
just a-
all in?
No.
It's just covered.
It's
So
just covered, yeah.
from here to here, and that's the entry to the house here?
That
We
is-
just
yeah.
put a new door in
Yeah,
back there.
there's a door entry.
Okay.
Because right now to get into the home, our door is on the alley. So we park here and we walk down the alley to get into our home.
So the two issues, Paul, is one, because it's one of those corner lots that we talk about, okay, it's 25 feet rear, like where's the rear? And then if you're, would you, in this case, if it's just covered, consider that a now connected?
Any sort of physical connection would make that part of the principal
And so that it
structure.
needs that same, what we were just talking about, was it 8 feet? What would it be? I
In this
can't
case, it'd
remember.
be 8 feet because of the height of the structure, 25 for the rear, and then the impervious coverage is over 50%.
Okay.
And the problem with our setback on the rear is right now, our neighbor's garage is actually on our property. And that back, yeah. So our backyard neighbor whose home is on Webster Street, their driveway comes to.
Off of Emily.
off of
Okay, you're
Emily.
talking about this guy's garage, right?
Yep.
Here?
Correct.
So if I understood what you were saying earlier, this is kind of interesting. The main driveway for whatever was here, including maybe over here, wrapped around like this?
It used to, yeah. And talking to the neighbors, they were telling us
And
that.
so these properties were one, perhaps, and this, you said this was the carriage house for a larger house?
No, this was, so the one across the street, directly across on Emily, I think was the architect that built.
House for his brother.
Yeah, that's our house for his brother. And then the red one in the corner, or the one right on the corner of Emily and Webster,
The carriage house he's speaking of is the current, what is considered, or what would have been the garage at one time for this home. The one that's built into the home.
Ah,
That's what they
okay.
use as the carriage house for this house.
This part right here.
Correct, yep. And the easement he's talking about, I believe that the access for this house was here until they put the alley in
Right.
1981.
Right,
Right.
so the access in the driveway came in where their current driveway is and wrapped around to the back of the house. There was no alley at the time.
So you had a joint driveway, presumably.
Right.
Yeah, well, at the time, and it sounds like there was quite a bit of disagreement with the original owner, not wanting to give up, or would not give up that easement, and then the alley went in, and then they were able to have some access to the back of the house that way, so,
Ah.
and it kind of worked out.
So the easement no longer exists?
Right, the easement was right abandoned.
Yeah.
Yeah, so our property unfortunately has been carved away over the years
Yeah.
since the extension of the home to now, where we need to function as a family and we have no parking, especially we will have 4 teenagers driving.
My sympathies.
Yes,
Yes,
thank
thank
you.
you.
Yeah, so we need a place to put vehicles, so we're not.
And a good
in our
insurance
neighbors'
agent if
Yes.
anybody needs.
If they detached, what would it end up being based on the size?
4 feet.
Which would then not have a violation, because they're already 4 feet from.
If it's detached, you said there's no violation if it's detached?
If it's detached, it's 4 feet side and rear.
We do have a height restriction then,
You would have a height restriction of
Okay.
16 feet.
which brings us to a different variance, I
Yeah.
guess. So,
So we wanted to
whatever.
match the house,
Yeah,
being that it's on the historical register. Our home is on the historical register.
we would like to come as aesthetically.
Let me make sure I just followed that. Attached, the height isn't a problem,
Right, they can go to 35 feet if they're-
because it's attached,
because it's part of the principal structure.
right? But you need 8 feet. As soon as you detach it, 4 feet's fine, but they take the second level off, and it's just a garage.
And it's 16
And you
feet.
lose the second story, which is, okay, got it.
Interesting. All right, and then the big issue here is impervious surface. You're going to 50? Or you're going
I know that I have the calculations on here.
32%. Where they need 50, right?
Correct.
No, so you've only got 32 left, so you're going to 68.
Well, and once they build it, it would be 32% left.
Yeah. So they're 18%.
Yep.
Neighbors have any issue with it?
The adjoining, the ones that we talked to that are adjoining directly to our property did not have any issues, one way or the other. They had their own issues with building and they were fine with that. We will have to move power, and we already talked to Public Service
Yep.
about they'll put a new pole in and redirect, because the power goes directly across our backyard to the
Other
the
corner.
other corner. See that picture?
Corner of Webster and Emily.
This house, yeah, so you can see the lines going across the backyard. So they'll just move a pole to the corner in our property, directly behind the corner of the garage. So it would be right back here, is they'll put a pole so that can service this person. The service comes across, so instead of going across this way, it'll just come back here and then over there.
And they'll do that at no cost to our neighbors.
Okay.
Thank you for all the pictures.
Oh,
How old is this house?
1909 it was built.
Looks pretty good.
It's beautiful. We found the original blueprints in the house.
Really?
They're stunning.
Wow.
Blue and actual drawing and white pen, it's really, I'm gonna frame them.
Yeah, I mean, to me, when I see these pictures, it looks like new construction, an old style house.
We're very happy to have.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be some, in talking to builders, there's some challenges, but I know that there's a number of them. A few of these houses in the area, I've talked to some of the owners on how they've done the stucco, this bubble. It's a spray-on type stucco. It's almost a cement, so there are a few people that still do it, so we can find them.
Ah,
Which
yeah,
is
that's
nice.
another issue, isn't it?
Yeah, so.
Stucco is a declining art. so
It is,
like
but,
plaster walls.
you know, I've talked to a number of people that have had it done, and there's still people out there that do it, so tracking them down.
Further questions, Greg or Tom? If you could have a seat, we'll talk it over. What are your thoughts, gentlemen?
We want a garage,
Mhm.
and it's pretty small. I mean, to me, that location, the only location that makes sense.
Yeah, if we believe that not having a garage is a hardship, even putting aside the other arguments, but if we believe that it is a hardship sufficient, then I'm okay with what we've got here.
Yeah.
That's really the only issue. Obviously, the lot has been chopped up in anticipation of putting them into the exact situation that they're in, so
Right.
sooner or later, this was going to have to happen, once the corn got chopped away.
But I think they did a good case of explaining why, like, they could put a single car garage back there and probably have no variance problems, right? But besides the rear setback, that we see does a lot on these corner lots, but, you know, transitioning someone who's
Yep.
got opportunity.
I understand those situations, so, yeah, I'm okay.
I vote to approve. Motion to approve, sorry.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Everman, seconded by Mr. Babcock to approve the variance requested for the property at Emily Street. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 You're good.
Thank you.
Yep. Next up are the Parrots out on, did I say that right?
Yep.
Oh, okay. All of a sudden I panicked. Out on Nicolay Drive. No place to put a garage, huh? Or an outbuilding?
An outbuilding, yeah.
So just walk us through.
Well, yeah, we're looking to build a detached garage, just to put some stuff that we can't fit in our other garage. Boat, enclosed trailer, things like that.
You have a two-stall garage now?
We probably, it's more, yeah, it's probably like a 3-stall garage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the hardship you're presenting is that garage-wise, right now, you're probably good. But
Yeah,
you need some space to put stuff.
extra stuff, yeah,
And
yeah,
then perhaps the typical situation, you'd have plenty of backyard to
right.
do it. And indeed, you have plenty of front yard. but
We do, yes.
The way the lots are and the way the houses are positioned out there. And I imagine there's some topography where you slope down.
We do. I'm gonna say we're about 12 feet lower than the road there, so. But regardless,
We just kind of don't want our junk hanging out. We'd like to enclose it.
How far from the road would it be?
you know, we rode 50+ feet.
That's what that meant? Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be, it could be 65. We've got some trees there, then, probably 50 feet of trees, and then the building's gonna go to the west of that.
So the issue, Paul, is only having a structure basically in the front yard there?
Right.
No setbacks, no,
Well, as long as it's beyond 55 feet, they're okay. meets the code.
Yeah.
They're also going to be making an appearance at the Plan Commission meeting next Monday for the height of the structure. That's a requirement in the zoning codes.
Okay, that's what the.
They're making a two-stop
Got it.
deal here. so.
Yeah.
I trailer horses for a living, and I got a new trailer, and it's quite tall and large, so I'd like to put it out of the weather during the winter to keep it nice and even. So I need it a little bit, the garage a little taller.
Won't fit in your existing garage.
No,
You can't put it behind your house.
no, you
No.
can't, no. It's not possible.
All right.
Narrow lots, deep lots, yeah. And everybody wants to get, they build stuff as close as they can to the water, on those deals, but.
Okay. Questions, Greg? Tony?
Paul.
Why don't you ask him now?
Again, I'm just trying to make sure I'm tracking. If this had the ability to be built in the back, the size of the structure has no problems. It's just that they cannot build it in the front of their house. That is the issue?
That's the main issue, yeah, in this case, yes, for the board, yes.
And that's because of the slope and the wetlands, or what it was you were saying in here?
Well-
There's just not enough space for it behind the house?
Yeah, there's not.
Because the house is up against,
It's close to the, yeah, we built the house close to the bay.
This garage is also being built outside of the floodplain, so if it moves any closer towards the bay, it's going to be in the floodplain, they'd have to elevate the structure. I don't know if that's a hardship, but that's another complication as part of this.
Yep, yep.
If you look at the GSI map, what you had up earlier, if most of, a lot of neighbors have that same scenario, you can just part of
You've
the,
seen these before.
yeah, yeah.
Almost every new actually
Oh.
has that.
There's- You can, all the buildings towards the front of these are detached garages. for the most part.
Yeah, we've had people asking for variances to put a garage like right out there on the
Right.
road.
Oh, yeah.
This is a good place to put it. So we understand that the Nicolay Drive area has some challenges really on both ends,
Yeah,
on the water side and on the road side.
we definitely make the front, the road setback, well, no issues with setbacks.
Yeah. Okay. Further questions, John? Okay, if you could have a seat.
Sure.
So the issue we have here is whether we believe that there's a sufficient hardship to merit the construction of the garage.
Correct. And I think the opinion in the past has been that these have kind of dual frontages. They have a front yard that's on Nicolay, and a front yard that's also on the bay, so they have dual frontages.
But we've been on some before where we put them right up against, we granted ones right up against the road.
Yep, yep.
And it is true, there's structures all along the front there. This is not, I don't see any issue with it. It's not-
I don't either. I'm okay with this.
yeah, I mean, normally, I'm not, but because this one has, you can't put it in the back, and if it was in the back, it would be a problem, so what's the front, what's the back? So at this point, if there's other people, it looks like even in the, here, structure, you know, so,
It's a non-traditional lot, so
yeah,
to
it's
speak.
fitting the neighborhood, so, I mean,
Okay.
normally these roads are not.
I'll make a motion to approve the requested variance.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Babcock has moved and Mr. Everman has seconded that we approve the variance requested for the parrots on Nicolay Drive. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 3-0.
Look at their neighbors, that one, exactly like that.
Or actually our in-laws.
Yeah.
My in-law. His dad.
Yeah, there it is.
Same thing, yeah.
Same exact thing.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Cool. All right, you're good.
Thank you.
Not kicking you out, you can stick around. Who knows how fun it's gonna get. Mr. Hooper.
Mr. Hooper wasn't able to come. I'm one of his tenants. I'm representing him.
All right, have a seat. You got assigned.
Yes.
All right.
Do we need any names for the record?
Yeah, we got,
Yeah, your name and address.
Thomas, last name is spelled Oreskovic. The address is 1098 Western Ave, and that's in Green Bay.
Okay. Oh, this is a fait accompli. This has already been done. Is that correct?
He just gave me a piece of paper, that's all he really did. He kind of set me in blind.
Well, we have a picture here that, maybe it's just one heck of a Photoshop job. It looks to me like it's done.
Yes,
It looks like it's recent too.
Yep.
yes, actually it was. It was completed, I think, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
Okay. So what would be the rationale for granting a variance?
We have 3 cars and we have had parking violations before in the past, so that's kind of been an issue. The biggest one is, and we had to get a security camera for this to put in our window. The house has been egged once, his truck has been egged twice, and there was an attempt to break in on his truck. So in having the extra parking, like you can see, it keeps all the vehicles off of the street and kind of away from it more. With widening the driveway, it allows for more parking. The only concern he has is the 8-foot clearance from the garage door opening doesn't allow enough ample space for the 2 cars to squeeze on the side of it where it was laid. So if it was a little shorter, it would be really, really close to hitting his truck trying to pull in.
So just to be clear, the property we're looking at is the one.
It's the one on the right, yes.
That's pre-concrete.
Pre-construction.
So that tree came out.
There's a line of trees that came out where you moved it.
It was a lot of dead stumps that were there. And he had that removed, leveled, had everything done. It exceeds 30-inch clearance from the property line by, he measured it by 8 inches, it's 38 inches. He also says it doesn't obstruct any of the sewer, power, or water lines that are around.
So the neighbor to the side there, to the left side, has that neighbor weighed in?
He has not said a single word. He actually is, he comes home roughly about 11 o'clock, and that's when I'm going to bed. Really no interaction with him. He's gone all day.
Okay. The trees that came out were your trees for this parcel, presumably? I'm just trying to get a read for to what extent the neighbor had commented on that part.
Where's the property on this one?
1098?
1098.
Got it, okay.
Sure.
Does the new concrete that went in, does it go all the way on the side of the house? Or does it just stop in the front of the house?
It's right up to the garage. I believe it may go, no, it's.
Does it go all the way back?
Nope, our garbage cans are still on dirt, actually. So no, it stops literally right at the garage and goes over and comes back down and finishes off.
Okay. So we've got a wider driveway than permitted. Potentially a parking spot in the setback. And we've got an encroachment into the setback, maybe not, 38 inches, is that what I see? That would be okay, right? So we don't have a side yard setback issue here, it's just the driveway too wide again.
It's tough to say without knowing the exact dimensions. I mean, that's,
And we all work different shifts, so I leave at like 8:30 in the morning, he leaves at about 2. My partner, he leaves roughly before I do, before I even wake up at 6:50. So we all wake up at different times, work different shifts, so even trying to coordinate, and even with the garage door now, it's even hard for my car, and I have a compact car, to get in there.
Yeah, it's a single stall garage, so we've got an issue right away. We don't have parking in front of the facade or the front door. Okay.
But you can't park on the side of the house because it's not paved, which would then take care of the parking in the setback.
Yeah, presumably they could go back there further.
If they pour more concrete, right? And then in that case, then it's only 2 feet.
It's only the,
Because they went 10 feet versus 8.
as long as it leads to a approved parking spot, they can go behind or to the side of the garage.
Correct, yep.
They still have to maintain 2.5 feet on the lot line. But they could get an 8-9 foot wide stall, possibly next to the garage.
Yeah, so if they went the paved all the way back,
Right.
this would be okay. If they paved all the way.
Well, I'm not sure of the setback. I'm going on what this drawing shows. I don't know that it's 2.5 feet or not.
Got it.
It says it exceeds the clearance from the property line by 8 inches. Unless he misspoke, then it's supposed to say feet, I'm not sure. And I came in blind. He just gave me a piece of paper and asked for me to come.
How do you verify that stuff, by
Just-
the way? If they're coming in, is there a verification process that goes through and actually measures those things?
We rely on the site plan that's submitted. I just, in this case, I'm not sure that it's totally accurate. It's just the way it's shown.
As it's presented to us,
Which is the only we can go off of, correct?
that's right.
Okay.
We have 38 inches presented to us here, and it looks like it gets better as you go back, not worse. So granted, Tommy, there's a lot of things we don't know here.
Yeah.
We have the application presented to us.
You could request additional information as well, but
You
you
could.
can work off what you have as well.
So he's offered here, Paul, this 131705A. Driveway may be expanded up to 8 feet beyond the garage door opening. So this type of thing is anticipated, he's just gone 2 feet further.
Correct. So that's provision in the code for single stall garages only. You can go 8 feet either side of the garage door.
Yeah, okay. Problem, so you've had problems with parking on the street.
You can't park on the street. I was told, well, during the summer, no, but like winter time, even with how the snow gets plowed so close to our driveway ends, it's a challenge to get out. I've gotten stuck already.
All right, so Western is also not a super unbusy street, so I'm sure that's an issue too. All right, I got it. Questions, Greg, Tom?
No, just comments.
If you could have a seat, sir, we'll deliberate amongst ourselves. What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't like a few things. I don't like the fact that the guy didn't show up that made the application. I don't like that I don't know how the neighbors feel about it. I don't like the way it looks particularly, but it's not a totally unreasonable request either. So kind of have to balance that. But I don't know. I'm inclined to deny it on that basis right now, or defer it and make the owner show up and present the case and get some input from the neighbor. You know, but those are my thoughts.
My only concern is we're presented with the idea that someone's going to park there, which then would just create another violation, correct? If someone's going to be parking there on the other side, correct? So if they paved all the way back,
They can park there, that's still within the limits. So they wouldn't have to go back any further necessarily. It's not a necessity, but they can park here if you grant the variance. Because they're allowed to widen the pavement 8 feet either
Yep.
side.
The issue is the single stall garage, apparently.
what was the parking in the setback?
Well, that's a provision that allows that to occur. It's an exemption almost, and that's kind of something we developed through
You
Board
can't
of
do it with a
Appeals.
two-stall garage, you can do it with one.
Right.
Copy
You're
that.
not penalized for not having a second stall.
Gotcha. So basically, at the end of the day, that's not an issue, it's literally just 2 feet.
And the work, I don't like the work was done. And, you know, I don't know, I mean, if you put it 8 feet, who's to say they can't still park to it? I don't know that information because we really don't, we're not hearing it from the owner. So, those are my comments, but.
Well, you were going to say something else? What are your thoughts?
Okay. But I understand where Greg is coming from. It puts you perhaps in a swing position.
I agree with what you're saying, but I also don't want to waste if he came back and proposed it, my question, if he came back and he proposed all of the exact same things, would you be inclined to approve?
I don't know. I mean, if you could do it with 8, why do we grant variance for 10?
Do we know?
You know what I mean?
Do we know why he went to 10?
No, to be completely honest, he did not tell me anything about this. He just said he was going to look into having it done, and one day it was done.
And if you could park 2 with 8, why do we need 10?
One of the vehicles is another full, mid-sized vehicle, and he has a big truck. So I think he's trying to allow for just a little bit more room in between the vehicles.
No, it's up to you, because if you're the tiebreaker.
I'm just trying to think through this. So say we defer it, he comes back and he says, that's it. And we say, okay, cool, 8 feet. Does that mean he's now ripping up 2 feet of concrete? That being said, yes, that could be the penalty for not following the process. I don't know if that's a position. I wish we could talk to him and tell him that.
That's fine, well, it's up to you.
So we could defer it a month and have him come back and have that conversation and then have the talk.
Sure.
Vote.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that. I'll have someone come back to have a talk.
You may
I like
want-
to talk.
You may want more dimensions as well. You may want more clarification on where the pavement ends, where the lot line is. If you're going to table it, you can request additional information.
All right, so I motion to defer till next month and request more additional information from the owner with a little bit more detailed measurements. Anything else you want to add to that?
Detailed measurements, like the owner present, and any information they can get from the neighbors.
And
The
oh, yeah,
set- the next door
neighbor
neighbor.
input, yeah.
Not
Did you get all that?
I'll second with my modifications.
Yeah.
Basically, we want more information. We want to hear it from the guy who's done what he's already done.
Yeah, I know. He didn't really think things through.
All right. Anyway, we have a motion made and seconded to table this, this issue until we can talk about it again, 30 days, next month, basically. Next, whatever the next meeting is, which I think is 4 weeks. So 30 days would be good.
Yeah, I think it's October 15th, right?
September
September 17th.
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 Something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Further discussion? Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3-0 to defer until we hear from the owner next month.
Thank you,
Okay?
gentlemen.
What's that?
Next up, the Kleins, Newhall Street.
Right here, looking to have a driveway expansion added on here, which would put us 2.5 feet from the property line which was located, and also 5 feet from the sidewalk. The reason we are asking for this is to give us, of course, want to give us more parking, and we're having flooding issues because of everybody else's coverage around us. I have pictures of our side lot, how it's angled, you can see where it comes in under the fence, the pool up by our property. This is one portion of our garage that's rotting away. Stuff in the garage is rusting, and this is our basement floor. We have water damage.
What's the neighbor's house? They have no use on their thing, so we get all their water.
They put a driveway
And
that's...
they have a driveway that had absolutely no permit for it.
So now we're getting backed up on our property.
And it's been recorded on the,
Oh, yeah?
they know.
Do you mind if I see those when you get done? Neighbors.
The concrete is about 5 inches above the soil line, so we've had rains or we get snow melt, and everything runs off to our side.
I understand the situation you've got. My question is, how does what you're proposing to do solve that problem?
We can have that concrete angled so that it would run out the back to parking lot where there's a storm sewer, where it used to drain.
So the back then, if you're gonna drain it, you're gonna drain it back here? So you're gonna have a level of the driveway that's lower than the garage at this point?
Yeah, the garage will be kind of straight and it'll kind of angle back towards that back corner.
Which one, on this view, which one are we looking at?
Right here.
Thank you. Okay. So it's going out this way to that parking lot.
Right.
Got it.
Stormwater has to remain on your property. You can't, unless there's some sort of easement or agreement with the neighbor, you can't drain water on someone else's property.
Or drain it to the street?
Right. You have to retain it on site or pitch it towards the street.
Okay, so what you're proposing to do is not an acceptable solution, according to what Paul just said.
We'd go the opposite way that they're proposing.
Well, they'd have to manage the water somehow. I mean, I'm not saying it's a huge amount of water, it's just that it can't be infringed on someone else's property without their permission or consent.
If it has to be angled the opposite direction, that's fine too, but we just thought because that's the way it's always trained.
What about the people
continue
next
that.
door to us that have a driveway now that did not have a permit? And that's
Again,
coming into
really,
our
there's
yard,
storms runoff, so.
you know? It's like horse apiece.
Well, I can't speak to that, but I mean, if there's a complaint, you should file a complaint with the city and we can investigate. They should have gotten a permit if they paved the driveway.
We did complain,
Nothing's ever
and
done.
nothing's been done. And
But in the meantime,
every
we're
year,
getting damage.
every year.
We're talking thousands at this point.
So you're proposing a remedy to a situation that's really outside of our area. You're proposing a reason that's basically outside of our area. I guess we'd have to qualify it that we wouldn't be ensuring that the solution that you would be proposing is going to solve the problem or that it's necessarily the correct way to go. But you only have a reason for doing this because of the water issue, is that
And
right?
parking issues. We have 2 kids at home that can't get cars to give them to work. One's
Ah.
in college, works full-time. We have a number of
High
reasons.
school, going to college.
Yes.
And like I said, if we need to.
My
handle
sympathies
this-
for you too. Been there, done that. But at least in your situation here, you're proposing to go all the way back.
Yeah.
So we aren't worried about an issue with, what do they need a variance for?
Pervious coverage.
Oh,
What's the
okay,
number?
That's right.
50%.
No, I know, but the calculation with that in there is not in here. Do we know what it would land at?
We don't always have that number.
Do you guys know? There's like a little worksheet they have you go through.
Didn't he
I think we can tell. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah, so it's- that's all.
So because of the impervious surface violations around you, part of your argument, you've got an issue that causes you to make the impervious surface question even worse.
I mean, our neighbors are 90 to 95% coverage. We have nowhere for this stuff to go. And like I said, it has to be angles with one side or the other, it doesn't matter, whatever's gonna work.
Already there, over 50 already.
I'm sure they are.
Yes.
I'm sure they are. And they've got a huge
As currently structured.
They have a huge asphalt parking lot right behind them.
Yeah.
That's not helping the situation at all. Okay. Questions, Greg? Tony?
No, I would just, I mean, we're here to look at the impervious piece. As far as the solution goes, if we approve the impervious, what does that look like as far as drainage, stuff like that? Is that part of their site plan?
I think that's a detailed staff work, so I wasn't trying to alarm anybody, just saying for point of clarification, that water has to stay on site or be managed on site, but that's a detailed staff would work out with the applicant.
When they would have to get approval, a plan, and then slope and all that stuff, they would figure all that out?
Right.
So we don't
The
have to.
simple issue here is the impervious coverage.
Got it.
Yeah, I'll just say right out that I'm okay with this, but the reason you should have emphasized is you need more parking.
Parking, we need parking, oh my lord.
To you, it
We had children,
to
they're
you, it may
driving
be a
now.
water issue.
Yeah.
We can't deal with water issues. We can
Right.
deal with reasons for needing more parking. You have a 12-foot wide garage. You have a single stall garage.
Yeah.
Okay, that's, everything is good except for impervious surface.
Yeah.
And your argument that that horse is already out of the barn essentially because of the way your neighbors act.
Mhm.
So if we do approve this, I'll just say that we're not adjudicating your discussions with your neighbor. We're not ensuring that you've done anything correctly regarding water management. We're just saying you put in the driveway. And the other issues can tell with separate. Fair enough? If we do it.
Also, at a later time, we can always add drainage tile in that open spot in between the concrete on their side and their side. So that's another issue that we can solve if it ever backs up again.
I'm okay with it.
I agree with you.
Make a motion to approve the requested variance.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion made on Mr. Babcock, seconded by Mr. Everman to approve the requested variance for the Kleins on Newhall Street. All in favor? Aye. You're good.
Just make sure to step in for permits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I like that.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Okay, moving right along. Oh, we got another sign.
Hello
All
again.
right. Why didn't you guys do all these at once?
Oh,
They just keep, we're so easy.
Yeah, the client ones.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. If they want to keep paying $75, that's not a big deal. All right. You have an issue, you want to hang a sign up,
That's correct.
and it violates a lot of ordinances.
Yes, it does.
We've heard the argument before. I'll say it for you again. Your sign is too big, and probably in a number of different ways. However, mitigating that is that this is a temporary in some fashion.
Yes, that's
Perhaps not temporary enough for the city's issues.
Temporary is like 90 days total.
Right.
I believe this is 14 months.
Okay. Eventually, 100 seasons goes away, so obviously it will automatically turn.
Didn't we just have this one?
We've had
It's
it
a different
twice
spot
before.
of the
Oh,
property
yes, that's
now.
correct. No, we are relocating one
Okay.
that was previously hurt here. And so adding this additional EB2. So it's just a different location? Yes.
It's been very well received by the Packers organization. They'd like to continue the celebration.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm in no mood to be a Debbie Downer.
My
What the
question
Packers
is,
does
if
it
we're
say?
approving it now, is it then the 14 months continue to go back? So like if we approved it 2 months ago, is that, and that was 14 months, is now 16 months?
This is a
or-
new variance request.
So it would
It's
start over?
independent of the other ones.
Yeah. Smart. Now they get 2 years.
Well, the 100 seasons is only this
I know.
season, so.
I doubt that they're gonna take them down sequentially 2 months apart.
I'm pretty kidding.
That would be kind of funny though, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Nope, we got 2 more months.
2 more
on
months,
this
leave that
one.
one up.
Consider,
Oh,
go ahead.
I have a motion to approve.
Yeah, considering the size of this property,
It's
and
a,
it's a nice sign.
yeah, I'm not objecting to the ordinance, but it's a hard thing to do, signs.
Yeah.
This is obviously a special case that we,
That's our third one, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
we're good at this.
A motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion made by Mr. Everman, seconded by Mr. Babcock to approve the variance requested to put a sign on Lambeau Field. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, you're good.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Hope
coming.
to see you again soon.
Donuts next time. Make it a regular occurrence.
Okay, Mr. Lassay, did I get that right?
Yes.
What do you have in mind and why should we approve it?
Well, because I'm having my mother move in, she's 87, she needs a parking space inside the garage because the driveway is actually at about a 6-pitch slope. And so it makes it hazardous for her. And then because I own a car, a vehicle, and a motorcycle, I would like to be able to park on the side of the garage on more of a flat surface for the vehicle. And that way I don't have to have to move all my vehicles in the morning so she can get out of my lane.
Okay, This is another one of those things that I'm easily confused about, Paul. So could you explain where we are on all these variance requests?
Well, I believe it's an expansion of the driveway, and again, it's probably encroaching on that side setback area.
There were 4 existing trees there. My neighbor agreed to let me take them down, and then I'd have it landscaped and fit his ability to. So Craig does not have a problem with it at all.
So you're in process, and they kind of said, hey, go get.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, because I used to be a contractor, we didn't have to do this, but this is, of course, 15 years ago.
Sure.
So it was just easy to put an addition on.
Yeah. And the reason 8 feet is not in play, Paul, because it's a 2-car garage. Catching up.
I think the main issue here is the expansion to the lot line, probably less than 2.5 feet.
Yes, it comes in probably about 18 inches, actually.
So you're about a foot in. If you have 2.5 feet is what it should be, and you're expecting to be 18 inches from the lot line,
Yeah.
you're a foot over, basically.
Basically, yes.
A foot into the setback, but that's the only issue.
Yes.
Everything else is good.
Where my forms are now, according to what I was told, I have to have it, was supposed to be 8 feet over, so he wanted me to even move it over more.
Yeah, there's a 5-foot taper, it looks like, and, yeah, it's worked without a permit possibly, it's too close to the lot line, or it's encroaching on that setback of the issues. I think this was flagged maybe as a complaint to our department.
It all started with railroad ties. He had railroad ties as a border because there's a height difference, and he had a great big hump of dirt there. So railroad ties, he let me take them out and take the trees down. And that's when I was using the machinery and I had them too close to the curb. Well, they came and cut a tree down, and they came to grind it, and the railroad tie was in the way. So they sent over 2 crews to pick up one good railroad tie and 4 of them. So this is how it started.
Okay.
But the curb is actually in pretty bad shape, and I used to do that all the time. If that's a way, if I can maybe cut that back, because it was cut right there where it's broke. That's not really from me. That's from the snowplow or whatever. So I was gonna fix the approach on that too. I know I didn't put that into the plans, but I was gonna fix that because and actually the water pocket's right at the bottom of the driveway because it's all broken. And I know when they did my other house on Sorrento, they repaved it, but they didn't have to do mine, but they did the neighbors because they had pockets. And that is kind of a downhill slide, so water does get trapped right there. But I don't want to do the whole curb, even though I know how to. I think they're gonna come and redo the road someday, and then that curb will be fixed.
That's not an issue for us. That's an issue to discuss with you guys when he gets the permit.
The 2 issues again are the side setback less than 2.5 feet, and he is parking technically in the front setback. It doesn't lead to a parking spot behind the setback. So those are the 2 reasons, or 2 requests.
Is there going to be if there were railroad ties there before, is there going to be a problem? Or are you proceeding to perhaps fix that problem?
Well, I'm gonna remove the dirt, and then I'm gonna do all the landscaping and put either sod or seed and make that all level. Where the hump was 4 feet up, that's why the railroad ties were there to designate so the ground wouldn't keep flowing into my yard. I only bought this house in December of 17, so I've only been there for a little while. Now my mother's getting elderly, so she's moving in within the next month.
Okay, now you may have to do some landscaping or pay for some landscaping on your neighbor's lot.
Yes, and I agreed to that because I took his trees down for
Okay,
him,
gotcha.
and it was a burden. The trees, roots, and the mess of the trees all the time. He was asked 18 years ago to take him down, I found out it was $6,000. So when I said I'd take him down for free, he was more than willing to
I
have
bet he
me down.
was. I bet he
Yeah.
was.
So,
Okay.
And walk me through the hardship again.
well, because I have 2 vehicles and a motorcycle, that my mom needs to park inside the garage. So if she ever wants to leave, when I leave, I have to move the vehicles so she can get out, or I can get my bike, or at that time of winter, my car. It's still gonna be parked, so then I'd have to move that vehicle over, you know, and so if I keep it in the other stall, I wouldn't have to be moving vehicles before when I get home and when I go to work.
So you personally have, or is there multiple people living in your house?
I'm the only one there. My
Yeah,
mother's
so-
moving in with me.
Yeah, so currently, without her, you have 2 cars and a motorcycle.
Yes,
When her car shows up, you have 3 vehicles and a motorcycle.
Yes.
And they all can't fit.
right.
Do they all 3, before her, do you park 2 cars and a motorcycle inside as well?
During the winter, I can get it up in front. No, that's why I parked the truck on the back side of that. Because, and down, because it's a 6-pitch slope, and it wants to roll the car backwards because this is a stick. So the emergency brake, of course, the cable's rusted. So, I can't change the pitch of the driveway. That's the problem. So I don't want it to be in a way that I'd have to move it and leave it at the end of the driveway too. I could snow plowing and all that. You know, it's close to the edge of the driveway, as you can see.
And then, Paul, going back to what I was asking before, this is another 2-car garage. If this concrete went all the way back on the side, and you parked his car there, no problem,
No problem.
except for
2.5 feet.
2.5 feet. That's the only thing we're talking about.
Right. I don't know if he has that distance. I mean, you probably need at least 8, 9, 10 feet of width to create a parking spot.
I don't think 98's over the
I don't think
lot
you
line.
get that.
Well, the other thing is I also have an attachment house on the back of the garage. So it's almost 40 feet of concrete from what I understand that the building inspector wants me to put in, which would be kind of, I think, useless. 2509, it's on the back side right there, there's another bonus room in the back of the house, that where that notch is and goes with the garage length. So I'd be like, have to, according to what I understand from the thing, if I put any concrete there, it has to go all the way back to the edge of the house. There's really no reason to do that
I
either.
don't think that's true.
There's not enough room.
You don't have enough room on the side of your lot to.
Right.
But if he did, he would have to go back, how far? If he did.
10,
Just to answer his
12,
question.
15 feet.
Okay.
There's not enough width, just based on, the
No,
photo's
yeah.
probably a little distorted, but I mean, still there's not enough room to
Yep.
get to the side.
Questions, Greg?
No.
Tommy, you done? Yeah. Okay, sir, if you can have a seat, we'll think this over. So he started, but he hasn't finished. Because that doesn't bother me. The argument for needing the additional parking space seems reasonable. Actually, I think he's fixing a problem to some extent. Wherever there was an issue, whatever the issue was between him and his neighbor that caused maybe some unsightliness on the border or whatever, sounds like it's gonna be fixed. No, okay.
I'm good too. I think it's a small driveway.
All right, why don't you make a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
And I will second that motion. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
2 to 1. You're good.
Thank you.
Next up, the cruise on Mako Drive.
Jose Cruz is our father
Oh,
that we're
okay.
representing. He wasn't able to come today.
You guys qualify, go ahead. What's the reason, what do you need to do, and why should you need to do it?
So my father proposes to,
Yeah, you need names, you don't have your sign-up sheet.
No, we need names, yeah. So your name and your address.
my name is Miguel Cruz,
Marco Cruz.
and we both live on 2201 Mako Drive.
We live at the same address.
Okay.
My father proposed to expand the driveway by additional 2 feet on each side. Although it was, when we moved in, it was already, we believe it was already expanded in the opening. The reason why he wants to, or why we ask, is because there isn't enough space. We do have 4 vehicles in the home, and we keep 2 inside. However, during winter, a lot of the snow covers the area, and we don't get between the cars. Plenty of times we've split. And how our house is located at the corner, in the intersection, and north there is a lot of heavy traffic. So we really don't park up front unless it's during the day due to parking violations. And we've gotten tickets multiple times.
By allowing us to expand our driveway by 2 feet on each side would give us the option to park 3 vehicles on the lot. And what we would be adding on would be asphalt pavers on both sides. But the 2 feet expansion on both sides, it wouldn't, we would still have an additional 3 feet in the lot line.
So you're proposing to make the widening with pavers?
Correct.
Is that okay?
That's okay.
So what's the real issue here, just the 2 feet wider? Too
Right.
wide driveway?
One parking in front of the.
Right. You can go 2 feet beyond the garage door opening. I think they're probably a little bit more than that.
No, it's actually a little less.
Okay.
It's less, it's actually 18 inches
Okay.
on this side. So it's a little less than 2 feet.
Is that the front door? Which one's the front door?
The front
The
door
front
is,
door is on the other side. This is the corner house. So front door is on the
we
other side.
utilize this door more because we need vehicles on this side. So we rarely use the front door.
You're still not in front of the door.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what this is, right here. What is that? Is
That's
this
a window.
Oh, that's a window?
Yeah, it's a window.
Okay. Okay.
Parking there because it's not technically the front door on the corner house is not a problem.
Well, I don't think they're in front of the front door. Or even the side door. I don't think
Yeah, I
that's.
couldn't tell if that was coming down.
Yeah, I don't think that's an issue. I think they're still short of that. It's just simply the widening beyond the garage door opening here. They're exceeding the 2 feet.
Looks like they're still pretty far from the side. From the neighbors? Oh, what is that?
And they were showing 3 feet, so the edge of those new pavers still another 3 feet, so they're compliant on that north side.
So it's already, okay, so it's already widened. How many feet? It's only widened by 18 inches. So you're putting another 2 on top of that. So then on total, you would be 3.5 feet past. So your 18 inches is what you're asking for on either side? Yep.
Yeah, there may have been some widening in here already, but they're going in, some additional area here with those pavers.
Right. So they're allowed, if they're saying that extension is already 18 inches, they can get 6 more inches. So what they're really requesting is an inch, a foot and a half, correct? Okay.
Talking about inches.
Well, I'm just trying to make sure I understand. I'm learning codes as well as everything else.
Which, what road is that?
That one is on North Dance.
North Dance.
Yeah, Mako's east-west, obviously Dan's north-south.
Ah, that's an additional issue. Dan's is a busy street.
Yeah, this must be kind of south of the Walgreens, south of University.
Yeah, it's a little over there. I'm trying to place exactly where it is. Anyway, this seems fine to me. Yeah, Dan's is busy. They've got 4 cars. Let's make it doable for them. I can see where you'd have problems if you park out on Dan's. My God, you can't do that.
Yeah, they don't allow it.
You'd have
Only
to
on the
park
others.
on Mako.
Yeah.
And then that's limited space.
And then there have been times where people from the apartments park in our driveway, like throughout the night, when they live on the corner, and we usually like to keep all the spots full.
Yeah, I mean, it's reasonable. I mean, it's not like they're asking for a ton of concrete here.
No.
I'm fine with this.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion made by Mr. Babcock, seconded by Mr. Everman to approve the variance requested for the cruises on Monco Drive. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3-0, you're good.
Thank you, guys.
And I see Jesse has informationally that we're next up on the 17th. Otherwise, unless there's any other business you guys want to deal with.
Paul, do you remember I talked to you? You guys are good.
Thank you.
Do you remember I talked to you about that discussion I want to have? Is that on the record or after the meeting?
After the meeting.
Okay. A motion to adjourn? Second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn this meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're done.
Quick